So what was your warm-up process? This is for a pitcher. So you're saying a pitcher comes in, you've got a warm-up process that kind of gets their mechanics working correctly, ready to be on the mound. What would be your order? What's it look like?
So after you all do your stretching, a lot of times they would do stretching before they got into the cage, right? That's what I always told the kids. So as soon as they got in there, we start off with wrist toss, right? So you put your elbow in your glove and just flip it back and forth, probably about, 10 feet away, 10 to 8 feet away. And then you do that for, 5 or 10 times. What that's going to do is at the end of your motion, if from pitching, you're flicking your wrist, right, to get that rotation on the ball, to get the spin on the ball. So that helps get all those ligaments and stuff loose in there. After that, we back up probably about 20 feet to 25 feet. And now we're doing trunk twists, right? So you're going glove side, arm side, you're pointing and you're throwing, right? After we do that, then what we do is we get basically on the pitching screen, it has the pitching square, the strike zone, and we work on bending our back, right? So we're separating and we're bending our back as we're throwing. So our feet are squared with our catcher basically, and going through that motion. And then until you get past that, I mean, there's nowhere else we're going. Okay. After that, then you go into basically a pump. So you take another, you're probably at 30 to 35 feet now. So you're doing your pumps, right? So your leg lift, down, out, and throwing. And we can write this all down too and get it all taken care of on the comment section. But it's just, as you can kind of see though, as what we're doing is we're building upon the process, right? To where we're getting back. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're getting all the mechanics warmed up, all the pieces of it, and you start small and move back.
Mm-hmm. And then we do, like, I call them the rockers. So basically after your stride, okay. So if your stride's like this, now this is obviously a little scale, but if your stride's this long, right, and that's where you land at, well, we're going to go out just a little bit wider with our legs, okay. So we're pretty much spread out, right, almost in split formation. You rock forwards, you rock backwards. When you're back, you separate your hands, point your glove, and you throw it. But your leg doesn't come over yet. It just turns over like you're hitting, right? Like you're squishing the bug. So you do that a few times. And then after that, then we do some hops to work on the drive off the mound, right? So you get up in your T formation or whatever you want to call it. You do 3 hops, point, and throw. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And then after that, then you get to the mound. And then once you get to the mound, then now we're working on, throwing strikes and your mechanics and things like that.
Because you're probably, 5 or 6 throws per each one of those. So you're definitely going to be loose at that point in time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then, I mean, sometimes we would mix in like long toss in the cage, stuff like that too. But a lot of times we just go straight to the mound.
It's important to have a bit of a routine. I think what you explained there is a lot of stuff that, we've kind of gone through when you're, you wouldn't call it upper level stuff, but, when you see a pitcher out in the outfield, that's what they're doing. They're going through a full warm-up process to get them ready. And not only does the warm-up, really kids need to focus on a consistent warm-up to not only get your body loose, but it really does help you mentally as well. If you are a pitcher and you don't have a constant routine that you do to get your mind settled and focused to throw strikes, that's what your warm-up's really used for, probably more so than anything else. If your body's got a little sweat to it, well, guess what? You're probably going to do just fine if your mind's right. You don't need all those extra throws. But all the throwing, getting through the ball, you may be thinking to yourself, you got to really get through that pitch. When you start throwing that slider today, that's that feel. I got to get my hand moving, Those are all those repetitions that kind of help these little kids get a mental approach that will help them out.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the other thing, too, is as these kids are playing catch, just regular catch with their buddies, their coaches, their dads, moms, whoever, if they're a pitcher and they're wanting to be serious about it, they need to play catch with all their pitches. And what I mean by that is, you play catch with a 2-seam fastball, play catch with a 4-seam fastball, play catch with a slider, a changeup, a curveball. Now, I'm not saying you got to sit there and just let her eat, but like On a changeup, work on the feel, right? Work on the feel that the ball's flying out of your hands. Make sure your grip is nice and loose on the changeup.
Well, the best way to get a good changeup is almost to play long toss with it. It's to feel how do you get long with your arm and have a dead wrist. That's kind of difficult to do, but the more you can actually throw it on a line, the more movement you'll get out of that. So, throwing changeups with long toss, you're not breaking off 12-6ers out there, curveballs and long toss.
No.
But changeups for long toss can be a very big benefit.